Hello and welcome on the Digital Doers, the podcast for e-commerce leaders. Here is a special edition dedicated to the Lengow Day, an e-commerce event held in Paris the 1st of October 2019, bringing nearly 1,000 professionals of the industry. During the event, I recorded a short interview, about 15 minutes, of keynote speakers, Michael Forger for Lengow, Amy Vener from Pinterest, Ilya Chirikov from Joom, Laura Fauduc from Alibaba France, Thomas Métivier from Cdiscount, Ted Etish from Frugo, and Albert Simpson from Facebook. Good listening to you, always without cutting and editing. Hello, Amy. Thank you very much for coming in the Digital Doers. You are Global Head of Retail at Pinterest, and could you introduce yourself in few words, please?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes, my name is Amy. I work at Pinterest. It'll be 5 years next week that I've been at the company, and I am responsible for the vertical strategy around retail for Pinterest globally. What that means is I get the opportunity to talk to retailers, understand some of their needs from a marketing perspective, and talk to them about how they can compete using our platform, both from a visual marketing perspective and from the opportunity to distribute all of their products in a place where people are shopping.
Okay, cool. And before Pinterest, I guess you did something else.
Yes.
What is your professional path before Pinterest?
I have a little mix of working at companies that focus on both the retail side. So I was a merchant. I was also the head of customer acquisition on the retail side. And I took that retail experience and also applied it to personalization technology companies. So helping other retailers use certain data to make a more personalized experience. And then the third sort of prong of my career path has been to work with performance marketers on a publisher side. So having worked with Yahoo and a few others, and now Pinterest, I can kind of combine those three skills and look at the retail combination with personalization and also the opportunity to publish content to an audience.
You are a performance expert. If I understand correctly,
yes.
What you did before and now you join everything at Pinterest. What was your mission when you just joined Pinterest? Because Pinterest did a lot of things before you joined the company. And probably your mission was to develop something new or to increase the performance for the retail. Can you just remind us the business model?
Yeah. So Pinterest overall, really the mission at the heart of the company is to help people create a life that they love. And so we do that by helping brands and retailers specifically, but we do this across all kinds of verticals, but I focus on retail. And so we help retailers make sure that the content that they provide on the platform to consumers is both inspiring and actionable. So the consumers get the opportunity to get ideas that are inspiring to them, relevant, and then they can connect to the opportunity to either make, do, or buy the things that they find as ideas on Pinterest.
Okay, and what are the main markets today? Is that still the US or what about Europe?
Yeah, we have over 300 million monthly active users on Pinterest, with more than half of them coming outside of the US. So there is a lot of growth happening internationally. And in Europe specifically, we've had the pleasure of being able to support retailers' advertising initiatives for paid for about a year now. So there's a lot of new capabilities that continue to be released and announced. One of them last week was actually the capability of giving retailers their product feed, being able to ingest all of their product catalog onto Pinterest ecosystem, so they all become eligible for distribution in front of the 300 million consumers. And so that capability we call Pinterest catalogs. And then we also give retailers the opportunity to promote those product pins that they
with campaigns.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can then run advertising campaigns, and that's called shopping ads. And so that's now available in Europe across France, Germany, Italy, and Spain.
Not the UK.
And the UK.
It's
yes.
still in Europe.
Yes.
So
thank
far.
you. Yes. Yes. This is dumb American speaking. Yes. UK as well.
Okay. Do you see differences between European retailers and American retailers, or their expectations are really close and they want to do marketing in the same way?
Yeah, that's a great question. I find that the consumer side, so you asked about retailers, but I would start with the consumer. Consumers across all markets are looking at Pinterest as a place to go to get ideas. Mm-hmm. And so when I think about the way retailers respond to that on Pinterest, it's fairly consistent. I think the US has had advertising longer, so they're a little more advanced in some of the ways that they're using our canvas to provide inspiring content to consumers. But I see it happening here in Europe, and there's some really fun campaigns and in-store interactions that integrate the experience for someone who's shopping in the store and then being able to use their mobile device and use the Pinterest app to take that experience on an aisle in a store and transcend it back to what are the additional products that may not be on that shelf that complement what I'm doing with this project for my bathroom. So the retailers are here in Europe are becoming more savvy and really looking at giving consumers more interesting experiences using Pinterest.
Okay, so that's for the European retailers, a new way to create some added value in the customer path using your solution. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And thanks for these explanations. And what about Pinterest in Europe? Do you have? Did you set up dedicated teams in the countries, or how do you work?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have offices in each of the local countries that give a combination of people dedicated to helping brands across retail and other verticals, and then we also have some of the team is focused on the consumer side and helping create growth to make sure that people are aware of Pinterest and really fueling not only the advertising sales growth, but also the pinner growth.
Okay, so that means you have a team based here in Paris?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that sounds good. I guess this is mainly salespeople.
And we have a group of cross-functional folks that support the business across outside of sales.
Okay.
So folks like creative strategy who help advertisers think about the creative they put in place, or the comms team, or we have a variety of folks on the growth team. So we do support all lines of business in the Paris office, and it's fun to see the team kind of breaking down walls and busting through the space. So it's becoming, I guess that's a good problem to grow out of the space.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any actuality you want to speak about or to the audience?
Yeah, I think, a lot of the trends today in retail is around how do you create shopping experiences that are not just price driven, but are also giving consumers a reason to want to pay attention to your brand and think about your product in context to something in their life. So, Pinterest has really been the last 18 months doubling down on our shopping strategy. So one of the things that I, as someone focused on retail, like to talk about is how Pinterest uses visual discovery and personalization, taste-based personalization, and then different product formats that are shoppable. And that combination provides consumers and retailers a new way to put products and brands in front of consumers, which is fun.
Oh, great. So you have great expectations for Europe, for France. And in France, we have great brains. So I hope you will be able to work with them. before we close the interview, I have a last question, and that's just to open the discussion between you and me. What do you think about the couple between e-commerce and ecological transition? That's also a sort of future of the e-commerce.
Yes. I love that you asked that question. That's a very sensitive and important question for us in the business. I would say, just stepping back and looking at the consumer activity on Pinterest, there is an interest in having a focus on sustainability. And so we've seen in some of our data that there's a real growth in the number of people and searches that are being performed against sustainable lifestyles. So this year, we've seen about 69% growth over last year, month in those kind of searches. So there's an interest on the consumer side, which is great because that gives brands the opportunity to target those consumers that are showing this interest with messages about their point of view and their products. And we're seeing some really fun direct-to-consumer brands that are selling products that have sustainable messaging, or the product itself has sustainable components. One of a brand that is headquartered by me and our Pinterest headquarters in San Francisco, California, is Rothy's, and they do a really interesting shoe that allows it's made out of recyclable material, recyclable bottles, plastic bottles, and they create these shoes that not only are comfortable and stylish, but they can also be washed in the washing machine, and they are really doing well on Pinterest because of this.
So you are explaining that the brands, these kind of new brands with new kind of products,
exactly,
are using Pinterest because that's one of the best platform to promote this new way of consumption.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, and it's fun to see the corporate world respond with products that consumers can believe in, and that on our platform, Pinterest, we call people on our platform pinners. Pinners are looking for content from brands that help them feel good about their lives, because as our mission, helping people create a life they love, sustainability is a piece of that.
Okay, thank you, Amy, for everything. Last question: where can we follow you? Of course, on Pinterest, but I guess you didn't pin pictures from you. In terms of professional, where can we? LinkedIn, Twitter?
LinkedIn is probably the best for contacting me directly. And feel free to ping me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to engage with folks that want to talk about sustainability or pinners or latest purchases. And if you want to look at what projects I'm working on, I've got a landscaping project in my backyard that I'm looking for furniture. I have a board called Outdoor Furniture. Yeah. You're welcome to follow me on Pinterest as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Cyril.
Thank you for sharing this testimonial with us. And that was really a real pleasure. Thank you to all of you. You are listening to the Digital Doers. You are more and more day after day. And thank you very much for all the positive words you send to me. If you like this podcast, please not hit 5 stars on Apple Podcast and share the link around you. This is important because this is the best way for people to discover the Digital Doers. Thank you again to all of you, and do not hesitate to leave comments and send me messages on thedigitaldoers.com. Thank you.